Okay. Hello and welcome to the Dirty Straw Hats. It's me, Mo, your host, along with your other host over here, Bush. What's up, Bush?
It's Bush Spirit now. It's no longer Bushido.
Okay. Oh man, see that? That's an abbreviation right there. I like that.
Yeah, Bush
I like
Spirit.
that. He should a nickname. I like
Exactly.
that.
No,
I
it's
like
not a nickname. It's Bush
yeah.
Spirit.
Bushy Spirit, as
No,
in like bushy.
no,
Is that what the name
it's
is?
just Bush Spirit. It's a different thing. I think it's Haitian or some shit. I saw it on Google.
Damn, Bush, that's crazy. That's crazy. You get on Black consciousness and you turn Haitian out of nowhere, dog. I like that. I like that.
Anything
I like
black,
that.
man. Why do I have
You're
a
right. You're right. You're
Japanese
right.
name? Why? I don't like
It's
samurai like
true.
that. They actually on board of samurai. That's why I haven't read Demon Slayer yet.
You're right. Of course, if you want, true historical accuracy when it comes to samurai, you go to Demon Slayer. You know that series with like supernatural beings, the spirits and shit.
Yeah, but I don't care about fucking swords and shit. Why my name Bushido, man? Like I like hands. You know what I'm saying? That's why
Karate.
Luffy,
I like
man. That's
that.
why I fuck with
That's why
Luffy.
you like fishmen so much. They barely use weapons. Fishmen karate,
Oh
man.
yeah,
Like
man.
water benders, but in the water. You know what I mean? I like that. I like
Exactly.
that.
That's why I fuck with them, man.
Yeah.
I love them.
Yeah. Let's start with the cover story. I'm sure nobody missed the
Trash.
Pound cover story if it's been going on for like 50 weeks consecutively. But if anything, they tied it back to something at
I
least kind of
I mean,
interesting, I guess. I
I
don't know.
I don't care. What is the significance of these characters? Like Lola, fucking. What's the
Well,
other one
I
name? I forgot.
Chiffon and Pound,
Chiffon.
and our boy Capone Beige. I'll say this much, right? Like, of all those characters, I do actually like Lola, and the reason I like Lola is not more so like Lola individually is like this sort of captivating character. It's more so that I really liked her relationship she had with Nami and like Thriller Bark. Like, I've noticed that like ever since like Vivi, and maybe even before that, if I'm forgetting a character or two, Nami seems to have this sort of camaraderie with like strong women that are trying to do something and have agency, right?
I don't.
And
I mean,
what's up?
I don't dislike her. I just like what is her relevancy to the story at this point? Will they pop up at some point in time and will they be
I mean,
important?
yeah,
Like I don't
I'll
get
say,
what this cover story is about.
well, I mean, trying to like assess the value of a cover story as it's happening usually doesn't go down very well because it's like let's look at like I think there was like a Carabo like cover story and then Carabo came back or like this arc and he's probably gonna have something to do with something, but it's like you can't really tell what is gonna happen with these characters until later on in the story. Like we even had that silly cover story about like Wapple. Remember like the Wapple one where like Wapple
Yeah,
got ejected from Drum Kingdom
yeah,
and then but then
even,
he showed up in the Reverie.
but even with something like that, he could have just told us about what he was doing like at the Reverie. Like I feel like we should have more important shit. Like the Ace shit was interesting when he was doing the cover story with Ace, and like the Hachi shit, that shit was interesting too. And like, during Marine 4, they show what the Straw Hats were doing at the time. Like that's cool, but like
Right.
side characters, like yeah, I mean, I feel like Pound should be dead. That nigga shouldn't even be alive, and I think
Yeah.
I think it's upsetting people that he's not only alive, he gets a cover story dedicated to him, man. So it's like
I'm not gonna challenge you on that. And to be honest, if you want to be for real, a lot of cover stories have been given to characters that should probably be dead. Like remember there was that whole Gadatsu
yeah,
cover story? Wasn't the whole thing supposed to be that like all of the vassals like got destroyed, right? And
yeah,
then like that was like I think that's like Chopper's only good fight, but that guy got a whole cover story that still hasn't really paid off in any way, shape, or form, you know.
yeah.
But it is what it is,
That
dog.
I mean,
And
that guy look cool though, man. Look at the
oh, he does look
like,
cool. He look like Zebek. He look like that Zebek silhouette. That's what he looks like.
I was like, oh shit.
Yeah. But I could end off with this as far as the cover story goes. I like Lola, and she's finally gotten her one goal that she's had since we met her, which is to find true love and to be married. And
Yep.
cool, I guess. Back to Wano is how I feel.
I mean,
It's like
yeah.
It's like I'll read it and I'm like, yeah, Kaido, the Scabbards, stuff that matters right now. I want to go back to that. That's how
we
I feel
could.
when I see the cover story.
I will say that Lola and Baby Five are similar. I would say.
What does that mean? What do you mean that's similar?
It's like their goals, finding true love and shit. It just there's slight differences there, man. But it's like, come on.
Yeah, I definitely like Lola's a lot more because she had the whole weird thing with was it Absalom? Was that who she was obsessed
Absalom,
with?
yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like Absalom is both dead and a fuck nigga. You know what I mean? Like,
he is
but
a
it's
fuck
like,
nigga.
yeah. So it's like, what can we do about that? But yeah. I mean, like, if anything, the better twin got the happy conclusion, and I'm happy about that. I guess, in a way where I never asked for it, but I got it anyway. You know what I mean? It's like I didn't need that, but I got it. You know.
They should be happy with what gifts we receive, man.
It's true. But yeah, like let's get to the beginning of the chapter. The people of Wano celebrating. It's the fire festival, even though it was the day that they planned to, take over Wano country and to, make their boy Momo shogun. The people are enjoying it. It's the one day in which they can be happy and celebrate in the flower capital, and they get to ignore how miserable their lives are under the tyranny of Orochi and Kaido. But
because they're gone.
yeah, but they are gone. And they're chilling. They're enjoying themselves. They're eating. They're relaxing. They get to live as like normal human beings, in this screwed up country.
It's like when your parents leave home and like you that 100%. Age, and you get to beat your dick. Yeah.
Well, hold up a second. Is that what the fire festival is? The fire festival is all of Wano being like, oh wait, Kaido's gone. We get to slap on me today.
Yeah, that's the family computer in the living room, man. You can't do it any other time.
Oh man, this man compared like starvation and borderline suicide on every other day of the year to like slapping his meat with his mama ain't around.
You're thirsty, like you're starving, man.
That
different types of thirst, man.
That's crazy. Oh man. Yamato's and the father like, stop repressing me. Let me be. Stop that. All that shit. But I like that. That's funny. But yeah, I mean, like the flower capital is beautiful as always. The scans weren't exactly helping this week, but I do think that this is easily one of the best locations we've gotten in the series. In my opinion.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the guys, the people of Wano are talking about how, oh man, wouldn't it be great if like every day was like today? Wouldn't it be great if Kaido was dead? Not alive, dead as fuck. And what happens is we obviously know what's happening on New Onigashima. We know of like the colossal changes that are about to come. Like the alliance of Big Mom and Kaido.
Hopefully.
We know the fact that the SCABBARDS have been fighting Kaido for what feels like 3 to 4 weeks, which is like maybe not even 3 to 4 weeks, like 2 months at this point. But in reality, it's probably been like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I'd rather that be going on than what the fuck Luffy and them are doing, which is dicking around.
Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
Running for 18 chapters, just running. Like, what the fuck? Fighting fodder ass niggas.
You know what I think it is, man? I think that, like, when you have so many things happening concurrently, like, you can't help but feel, like, a lot of importance and stress is put on one thing. And then when you flash back to something else, it's like, bro, like, we do not need to see a guy running while these people are fighting the big bad of the arc, you know? Yeah. And I think you can flash to it like once or twice and be like, oh, they're headed in that direction, like they did this chapter. Like this chapter, I feel like it made sense, right? So it actually brings us to the next part. We get to see Queen show up and just ruin everything by using his new Excite bullets, Ice Demon, that not only freeze you and probably give you hypothermia at the same time, you know? Frostbite, all that stuff, but they shape the ice part of you into like this sort of Oni demon thing, which is kind of cool.
So he shot like a pleasure with that bullet, and it turned him into an ice demon.
He shot somebody we don't care about.
Okay.
Yeah, like you're asking me like, was it a pleasure? I'm like, it was somebody, and they were weak, and we don't know their name, and they will never be brought up ever again. So yeah, he shot somebody. Yeah. A human target.
I'm tired of this guy and his bullets, man. like Drake, just go head up. Like Zoro's, y'all there, do something. Like, come on.
Oh man, like, and then he turns into one of few like vegetarian dinosaurs. You know, like, oh no, it's a what was it, like a brachiosaurus, a brontosaurus? I don't know what it's called. You know,
I'm
and
gonna
it's just
say, I'm just gonna say this, man. I hate all Zoan fruits, man. Like except for the mystical. Anytime you in your animal form, you straight garbage. Like I don't want to see that no more. Like they just get bodied in that form. I'm tired of seeing it.
you know what's funny about that though? The funniest thing is like when Zoans got introduced, and like they weren't even introduced with a cool devil fruit. Just they were just introduced with a cool guy, in my opinion, right? When
Oh
we
yeah,
saw Dalton for the first time, I was like, "Yo, my guy just turned into like an animorph. This is like the coolest thing
yo,
ever."
Dalton was body
You
and
know?
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, and he was like a cool guy, and it's like, oh man, I like this guy before he could turn into a cow, you know, and then he could turn into a cow. But then it's like we start getting these sort of like ancient Zoans, and we start getting the mythical Zoans, the ones that are supposed to be cool, you know,
yeah. They
and
just.
they just, yeah. Go
My
ahead.
my thing is just it's just the scale of them. Like they're way too big to have a practical fight with, so the fight just looks clumsy and like it's just,
Yeah, yeah. Like visually, it just don't be hitting the same way. Like
yeah.
I think honestly, like I feel that way about really any fight that has an opponent that completely like dwarfs, you know, the person that we're fighting, like or the person that is fighting. Like for example, that's one of the big reasons why I felt like that Pika versus Zoro fight was like so uninteresting, because it's like you weren't just fighting a guy, you were fighting a projection of a guy that was way bigger than you, and then like after about 2 to 3 weeks of slashing him in half and doing absolutely nothing with that, it just gets boring, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's like how like you know what I mean? Like on page, I'm sure it looks cool for a couple panels, but after that, it's not an interesting fight. It's not an interesting fight at all.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I just don't like seeing that. I mean,
yeah. I feel you. I feel you. Let's talk about Sanji. You know, showing up outside of the sober mask, a Jama suit that he got, and doing some kicking. And while that's cool for Sanji fans that like to see that on screen, you know, I too enjoy a little bit of Sanji on occasion.
yeah, I like Sanji.
Jinbei did show up and steal his shine, man. Jinbei stole his shine.
Oh
He
yeah.
showed up and he did his fishman karate. He did his water bending,
Yep.
and I liked it. You know, like I've made my opinions pretty clear of Jinbei. I think he's a
Stop.
recovering, you know,
Stop.
recovering uncle, a recovering Uncle Tom. You know,
Stop.
a
Stop.
recovering coon of sorts. You know,
No.
but
no. Jinbei
But-
is top one member of the crowd.
this man joined like 2 weeks, like 2 weeks ago,
so,
bro. Stop
I mean,
it.
look, Jinbei keeps things progressing, you know, in a timely manner. Like he's moving.
Wait, I just
Like, wow.
I just called him an Uncle Tom, and I was thinking you were gonna be like Jinbei keeps things progressive. I'm like, he's an Uncle Tom.
You need to stop that. It's about inherited will. Our boy
No, it's
Fisher
about
Tiger.
inherited. It's
had
about
to- look.
generational racism, damn it.
No, Fisher Tiger died, and now Jinbei is the new Fisher Tiger, man. I'm calling. Look,
That's true. He did.
Look,
he,
yeah.
he inherited that will. Like, man, listen.
they
I'll
had
say
to
this
make
much
him
about.
they had to make him like undesirable first. So now it had to make sense. Come on, man.
If you want a character to be undesirable, you just make them look like Alvito or Big Mom. That's how you make somebody undesirable. For being for real.
You talking about current Alvida?
No. I was just talking about that designs. I'm just like
Current
taking a jab at
ain't current Alvida kind of bad? What do you mean? What?
No. Current Alvita top 10. Like original Alvita before the devil fruit? No. You know what I mean? There's nothing there.
I
for
mean,
me.
now that I see how
But-
she could look, she worked out a little bit.
No. It ain't even about how she could look. This is how she does look. This is exactly
that's
how she looks right now, you know? Yeah. But I was gonna say the whole thing about Jinbei, what I like about it is like my favorite aspect of Jinbei as a character has always been, outside of like, you know, the sense of duty that he has and his honor, my honor, you know. Besides that, I like
Cold.
Jinbei and Luffy's like chemistry together. You know,
Yeah.
I like that chemistry together, and I also like that Luffy kind of looks at Jinbei almost like an uncle, where like he's the only guy that he will listen to and respect, because ultimately, when he was in Marineford, the only reason he managed to make it out the way he did was because of people like Jinbei and Law,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
And I think that-
he's so
Go
good,
ahead.
man. He just so good. That's all I want to say, man.
Okay,
I got more,
Keep
but-
slopping, dog. It's okay. You know, just slop away. But yeah, I was like with Jinbei, it's that on honestly, like Oda's been describing Wano and this whole war thing to be something that makes Marineford look cute, but really, like, I don't take that too seriously. I think he's referring to scale. What I do take seriously is that if it's gonna be a war arc, I'm hoping for at least a couple echoes of the war arc that we did already get, you know. And we've already gotten some of the remnants of the Whitebeard pirates and direct mentions to that. And another thing that we've gotten in this chapter that I feel like isn't stated enough is that Jinbei and Luffy are together, and it's a similar dynamic to when they were in Marineford trying to get Ace. And I think that's pretty cool. And even though they don't know it, they're trying to save the Scabbards. They're trying to save the Scabbards, but will they make it in time? You know, that's the big question.
Probably not. Somebody has to die. Like, like you ain't kill Puddin', so I think you need to kill some of these these characters. But we ain't even there yet. We gonna get to that. We didn't talk about. We didn't really talk about your boy Donkey Kong, man. The dude with the gorilla.
Donkey Kong is my guy. Not that guy, but like Donkey Kong the character. I love that guy, man. Yeah. But yeah, this dude is like a smile user, and I feel like if anything, you know, this arc Wano, you know, the Wano arc has proven that smile users are garbage in every regard. They are fodder. Yeah, like man, listen, like. That fruit that Vegapunk made and Momonosuke took, for the most part, seems to have no real side effects and is a pretty respectable effort at a devil fruit, you know? But these smile fruits the Caesar made, garbage, terrible, they're awful.
He's the worst.
Caesar, you terrible scientist.
He's the worst scientist. Like, what are the scientists that we've seen thus far? We've seen, Sanji's dad, Judge.
Yeah, we've seen Judge. Yeah.
Who else? Who else?
I mean, it really depends what you qualify a scientist as. Like, we've seen a lot of doctors too. Like, but I don't know if you could.
Yeah, I don't count. I like people that specifically experiment. Try to create new things.
Oh, those are the big ones off top. Like Vegapunk is supposed to have the most mystique surrounding him and stuff, and he's like the science golden boy of the One Piece verse and stuff. So, I'm hoping that this eventually leads back to seeing Vegapunk eventually. Please, thank you. I hope so. You know, but yeah, we don't really know. It seems like there's a lot of like pairings as far as fights and stuff going on. It feels like King is probably going to be directed in the direction of like Zoro eventually, because like Luffy split ways with Zoro. It seems like Zoro and Kid will be together. I don't know if they'll fight King together, but I'm guessing it will turn that way because it usually does. And then also Sasaki, another member of the Toby Roppo, is it's pretty much in front of Yamato. It looks like Yamato's finally going to get their chance to fight. And I think that's something a lot of people have been asking for. I've been asking for it. Do they have a devil fruit ability? Do they just have really strong haki? Like, I'm not sure, but I'm interested to find out because I really like that character so far.
Yamato's cool. I can't say whether or not I definitively like her or not, but I mean, we'll see what else she does within the arc. Because I don't know if I really truly believe in, like, I don't think they really did they really give give an in-depth story or go into detail about why she likes Odin so much, like, rather than like the.
Well, I mean, here's the thing, right? Like, I think you're more so leading into the discussion of like, do we consider Yamato to be a trans character, and like, is it more so based on like general gender dysphoria and believing themselves to be a man?
I'm just like her motivations, like.
Well, his motivations, if you believe.
Well, I mean, his motivation.
I mean, listen, I ain't grilling you. I'm just putting it how it is, bro. You know what I mean? I slip up all the time. Like, I know.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, what? I don't really fully believe. I don't think we got enough story, like, behind that as to why he is so into Odin, despite being Kaido's child. Like, I don't.
Well, I mean, like, I think if anything, like, we'll find out with backstory. But if I'm to like make an educated guess, it's because Odin was a Giga Chad. He was the guy that even in death managed to punk Kaido and do the thing that Kaido wanted the most. Kaido Kaido himself is envious of Odin, you know? Why look up to Kaido when you are reading the journal of the greatest man to ever come from Wano? You know what I mean? Like, that's besides Ryuma, I guess, you know, personal opinions and stuff. Ryuma's pretty fresh. Stop. Ryu, man, he beat a dragon. He beat a dragon.
Dragons are not that good.
I mean, Odin couldn't beat a dragon. he couldn't be Kaido.
I mean,
So,
didn't Luffy body Kaido? I mean, he slapped him in the head with something vicious.
bro,
So, I mean,
Scabbard's been doing that for 3 weeks, and look what happens in this week,
exactly.
man.
Dragons aren't that. It's just because they
Tell
fight Kaido.
Kiku's arm I said what's up. Tell Kiku's arm I said what's up, dog.
Yeah, a regular dragon would get bodied by these scabbards on Luffy, man. Like, come on.
It's true. It's true. I mean, Zoro took out a dragon and Punk has it, right?
Yeah, casually, just.
Yeah.
But
Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. A thing I find very, very, very interesting is that Luffy's entire deal with Rio was to learn it so he could eventually cut Kaido's scales or cut through Kaido's scales. We find out that all the retainers know Rio and they couldn't really wound him to any great degree. So now my big question is Rio on its own really going to be enough? But then again, it's like, when has Luffy ever really used a singular power-up in the conventional way? You know, like, he'd probably be fusing it or pairing it up with what he already knows, like either another variation of like Gear 4 or maybe you know, just some sort of like hybrid of whatever he's already using. But yeah, I'm curious. I'm like Rio don't look like it's going to make the difference on its own.
I honestly don't see what he can do. I can't picture punches like hurting or damaging Kaido enough. I just can't see it. I feel like it has to be like a weapon of some sort or something.
Right.
And Luffy don't.
I think
have that.
Ideally, how would this end though? Because like I'm curious, because that's the thing I'm trying to lead into. I know we all have our opinions on this, but the real question right now is, how do you feel like this is gonna end, man? Like, how do you feel like this is gonna end for the Scabbards? Do you feel like, cause like the thing I'm talking about right now is, oh man, has Luffy really got the the moves to really beat Kaido right now? But it's like, really, that the question goes back to, do you think this is the end of the fight? Do you feel like this part of the story is where we're gonna beat Kaido? Like, do you think that's even gonna happen?
Not at this part. I mean, he fought Kaido once? He got to fight him again?
Yeah, the only difference is Rio. That's the only difference, man.
Yeah. He might try Rio, and it's probably not going to work, and he'll have to end up fighting him again in like the final act. And I just don't know. I feel like it'll be cooler if like it was a double team, maybe him and Zoro or something. Like I don't know. I can't.
Oh no, bro. Yeah. We talked about this already. Like, I think we even talked about it last week. It's never gonna be a 1-to-1 fight, and honestly, like, yeah, so this is kind of weird. Like, I presented the question that way, but it's like, even with everybody else, the only difference as far as Luffy going into combat with Kaido is that he's learned Rio. And if anything, right, if I'm taking the story in the way I understand it to be right now, we're basically at the end of Act 3. Luffy's only gained Rio. The act seems to be heavily focused on the Scabbards. It started with the flashback that showed how Odin, one by one, captivated his retainers and brought them in as like family and raised them, right? And then it's ending with what looks like the eventual defeat of them and the death of a few of those characters, if not all of them. And that's what this act is. I think it's going to end in the great tragedy of these characters, their failure to beat Kaido, even though, they came back for revenge. And maybe the remainder of them and Luffy going into battle after this great failure. And then, Kaido falling at their hands, I think that would probably be the direction of the story. I can't really imagine this being the end point, and I don't think of it like it's going to be as 1-to-1 as Marineford, where it's like, okay, so we have this goal, and we're going to accomplish this goal, or we're going to fail, and that's it, I feel like this arc has to end in an eventual success for Luffy, considering how big of a deal it is and how long he's had this goal. But at the same time, I don't think there's enough there right now for him to be successful in it. Yeah.
Kind of agree with that. What about, did we talk about the Shinobu stuff yet? And how King trying to kill Momonosuke?
Was it King or was it Sasaki?
Well, I mean, King made this big announcement to everybody. I don't think he's in the same location.
Oh yeah. I remember you talking about like the Oniwa Banshu spy with the cat and the eye thing.
Yeah.
They were reporting to King, and then they were telling them like, oh yeah, blah blah blah, like Momonosuke's in this location, and actually that's really interesting. King finally seems to be doing what Kaido couldn't. Kaido's had 2 chances to kill Momo, and he failed both times. You know.
You think King is gonna do it? What you mean?
I mean, King is like doing it with intent. Like he's sort of like, yeah, he's like, there's no a way out of this. There's no like diplomacy. We're not gonna talk about this. I'm just gonna kill you. But then like when Kaido caught Momo both times, he spent so much time talking and offering him an alternative, and it's like, just kill him. If you want to kill him, just kill him. And King is like, I'm gonna kill him. I'm just gonna murder that guy.
It might be on some Hisoka shit. Right? Maybe he's trying to allow him to develop and become Odin number 2, because he really has a hard on for Odin. So maybe that's why he letting Momonosuke live.
Yeah, that's funny to think about, but I don't think that's why
he sees his father in him or something. I mean, he did call him a coward, but maybe not. I don't know.
If that was the case, I feel like Kaido would make even less sense to me. Like, I really, honestly, like we mentioned before, I'd like more Yamato stuff. But then aside from like more Yamato stuff, I think I need more Kaido stuff, considering he is the primary antagonist of this arc, and I still feel like I don't fully understand him, and I don't fully understand that character.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel about Kiku losing her arm?
I mean, it's One Piece. I'm used to people losing limbs. That just makes you cooler. It makes you stronger. So it's not.
It hit, you know what I mean? Like, it hit my, like, I was like, man, like, this is real. We're about to die. And also, it kind of, like, vindicated me based on what I said last week. Because last week I was like, yeah, this is, like, the highest point for them. They're never going to be cooler than this. Like, this is the end for them. After this, we're going to see it all go downhill, and Kaido's going to destroy them. And this
panels,
is, like...
Panels look cool, though.
Yeah. What, of like, the blood spraying and stuff?
Of, like, the wind scythes. Like, they got the Kiku with her arm cut off. Like all that looks cool. Like the sword cut too. I mean, Kiko's one of the weakest scabbards. I mean, although she did off screen, your boy, our boy
Kanjuro. You just called them like one of the weakest scabbards as they beat another one of the weakest scabbards. It's supposed to be one of the strongest scabbards.
Oh man, Kanjuro top tier, man. I don't care though. Like Kanjuro, man. That's my homie. He need to come back.
Man. Nah. You know what? You know who I really mess with? Like, I really sat down and I was like scratching my chin and I said, yo, if I really had to pick some favorites, you know who ended up on that favorite list as far as scabbards? I just didn't think I was gonna mess with as much. Denjiro. I love Denjiro.
Oh, Denjiro's a top tier,
yeah. Yeah, because like when you get into Wano, like let's separate the whole Odin backstory that we got at the beginning of Act 3. Denjiro as Kyoshiro was cool. Yeah. Like my guy was like, he was handling Zoro no problem.
Easily. It's like okay.
Yeah, and then it's like, you get to that point and you're like, man, like, Kyoshiro is, like, evil, nefarious, he's somebody that we need to really fear, and honestly, like, I thought he was far more intimidating than Orochi, and then when you finally get to realize that, like, this Denjiro character in the backstory is Kyoshiro as well, and how he's really this character with like this depth to him, where it's like, oh man, like I've been traumatized, my body's become disfigured, my hair's like to change colors because of the shock, and it's like, oh, but I'm here, you know? It's been 20 years, my life has been awful, I've been looking after the would-have been Shogun's daughter, and I'm here, you know? And I think that moment's so great towards, I think, like, the latter half of Act 3.
I mean, and you would think that he would be putting up more, he would stand out, like, more than, like, the ninja dude, Kinemon,
Yeah, for sure.
The Kappa, I forgot his name. He's not even a Kappa. He's a fisherman.
Kawamatsu. Yeah, Kawamatsu.
Yeah.
You know things gotta be bad for fishmen when being a demon gives you higher social standing.
I know, right?
Oh no, he's not. He's just a devil. You know, he's not a fishman. But he's just a literal, you know, like hell incarnate. You know, like a hell spawn. You know, like what the fuck's wrong with you?
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I don't know, man. I just based off the fact that Kiku wasn't able to get out of the way and everybody else was able to.
No, I'm with you. Here's the thing, like, if we talk about like coolness, I think Okiku's one of the coolest scabbards, right? In my opinion, right? But
Yeah.
definitely one of the weaker, for sure, no question. Because, like, for example, when we see the whole, like, full-on armor, and then, like, Kikunojo, we see the name, and it's like, oh, man, like, this is fire. You know what I mean? Like, this is really cool. And, yeah, I mean, to be honest, that was actually a fight I wanted to see. Like,
Yeah,
Kanjuro
Kiku kind
versus...
of bad too, man.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
man,
by
as long as you
design,
like.
dog. It's by design.
I'm about to
I
put
wanted...
Kiko on my top girls.
I mean, they got fish people on other people's lists, so you got what you got, man. It's all good.
Uh,
Let me throw this out there, dog. I feel like the big question we should ask at this point is, how do you feel about Act 3? How do you think it compares to the other acts? Yeah, how do you feel about it? We're coming to the end of it.
Act 3. I mean, it's probably the most action. I don't. What? I'm trying to think.
Act 3 started with the backstory of Odin, and it
Oh,
ended.
okay.
It's ending towards now, I guess. We got a couple chapters. Maybe next week will be the last one. Who knows?
Also, Act 2 is probably the most action packed so far, I guess.
Act 2 is the... Oh, man. Act 2 is us, dog. That was the
Was
worst
it?
one.
Didn't it have like the Sanji and all that Sanji fight and all that stuff? I mean, it was short, but like
It was the one with the terrible Big Mom amnesia plot
the
line.
big.
You know, that plot line that should never have been a part of the arc?
I'm trying to. You're probably right. You're probably right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm just curious. If that's how you feel, that's how you feel, man. Like, I'm not here to change any minds, you know? I'm just curious what you
and
think.
I guess Luffy fought Kaido in Act 1. Was that then?
I mean, he got one-shotted in Act 1. I wouldn't call that fight.
I mean, he did, but look, I'm just
Yeah,
look.
there was no fight.
I'm thinking of I'm thinking about the anime. Never mind. I think Act 2.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I think anime wise was we haven't seen this anime.
That was
yet,
your first
so I don't know.
mistake.
That was my
First
first
mistake,
mistake. Oh, damn.
Yeah.
You seen
And
that?
your second mistake was saying that Act 2 is the best one.
You seen that hockey on Sanji cheek, man? That was fire.
Oh, man, listen. Sanji be taking L's in this.
dog.
Man, listen. The anime thinks they're doing Sanji a favor. Sanji, you look terrible in the anime. You look awful. Awful. The animation's nice, but man, they're not helping you. They're not helping your case, bro. They're not helping your case.
Now, have we seen Sanji with official armor yet? Anyway, if so, if not, that's terrible.
I don't pay attention. I don't pay
Yeah.
attention to that type of thing. But
Oh, okay.
the thing that we do know for a fact is that Luffy said after the time skip that at the very least Zoro and Sanji would have haki. So yeah, both of them have haki. And I've not paid too much attention to like what they specialize in or like how they use it, but they both have haki.
One thing I do want to talk about is Kaido's obsession with Odin and how him thinking of Odin is affecting the way he fights and how I guess the Scabbards are able to hurt him just due to him thinking of them as Odin. Like is that how they're going to defeat him? Like seeing why is he I know he wants like Odin was he respected him, but like I don't know, man. This Odin obsession, he's more obsessed with Odin than his son, man. So that's
I agree with that. I agree with that for very different reasons. Let me try and frame this, right? So like you know what I mean? Like the fire festival's happening. You're on New Onigashima, you know, previously known as Onigashima.
Yeah.
You have probably the most high profile pirate alliance in forever, you know, since Rocks maybe, you know. And you're chilling, you're drinking, you're having a good time. And then what happens is that, you know, about 7 samurai that you thought were, you know, dead AF show up and they say, we want the smoke.
Yeah.
And you're drunk off your ass, you know what I mean? Just trying to chill, you know, enjoy the vibes. And now you're in the biggest fight of the arc, you know? And I think that's Kaido's entire standpoint. He's somebody that's under the influence of alcohol, somebody that was completely not anticipating this fight, that is having this sort of blast of the past in which these very students were lifted up by the man that he contributed in the death of, you know? And I think honestly, like that alcoholism is a big factor in what you're talking about right now, where it's like the lines, between what he remembers and what he's seeing are very blurry, and I think that's actually one of the stronger parts of what's happening right now.
So he's basically just playing with them at this point. Like, yeah, I mean, he said they were weak. They were nobody
Yeah.
towards the end. So it's like, yeah, y'all
Yeah, I mean, I
trash.
said it before. Like his bounce back was crazy because like he would
Yeah,
have that thing where he looks like he's about to die every panel, but the next panel he's back because they can't really do any substantial damage to Kaido. Like I think people get twisted, especially with Big Mom and even more with Kaido right now. Well, like no, this dude is like a monster. He's just like they call him like what was it, the strongest beast in the One Piece universe, the One Piece
creature.
world.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, or creature. Yeah, the creature in the One Piece world, and I think that let's not like equate that to like say what they said about Whitebeard. Whitebeard very much was given the label of the world's strongest man at an earlier point in his career when he was at his prime, but he was sick. He was dying, he was ill,
yeah,
and when he got to Marineford, that was him essentially like giving up his life in favor of his son's life. Ultimately, sacrificed himself for his father that came to sacrifice himself. But Kaido isn't in that condition. Kaido is still holding that position as the strongest creature. I don't know if he's in his prime, but he's definitely not a dying old man, you know?
oh yeah, definitely not.
I think like to think that like even the scabbards could sneak up on him and even catch a slight dub is like a complete fallacy. So when we read what's happening right now, what will probably happen for the next week or two, it just feels like a complete inevitability. Like this was what was gonna happen. Like honestly, like I almost cringed when I read last week, not because it was bad in any way, but because I knew that whenever a character gets a moment like this against a strong opponent, it's just set up for them getting completely destroyed the next week.
Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah,
true. Now, I mean, you said so. They did say they did call him a creature or a beast or whatnot. I think that's an
absolutely.
interesting
That's
distinction between him and Whitebeard, who they called the strongest man. Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because
so
Whitebeard is a
like,
guy.
yeah, so like that's I guess that's maybe why people think that maybe this ain't even a
Yeah.
fruit. It's just he turned into a
Right.
dragon.
Right. Right.
That's
Yeah. I
interesting.
mean,
Yeah.
I think that does have a lot of legitimacy the more I think about it. Because honestly, I went back to read some earlier chapters of Wano, and I don't mean like early as in like Act One, just like earlier in Act Three. And when they mention Kaido, like they call him an ogre pretty casually. I'm not trying to say he's literally gonna be an ogre, but people describe him more with like animalistic sort of like mythical characteristics than anything that you talk about like a
Yeah.
regular guy with. Like nobody says, "Yo, that's my bro Kaido."
That's
That's
my
my
man.
guy. That's my man's bro. You know what I mean? We go way back, man. Like for example, like honestly, they don't say it this way, but it sounds like to me it's like, yo, me and Kaido were walking around. He was on the leash and I was walking. It's like, bro, you sound like, I was giving him like a Scooby snack. Like they just kind of talk about him like he's an animal every
Yeah.
single time. You know what I mean? Like, and I think that's by design. Like, I think that's by design because like he does have very human characteristics in his desire for a great death. His sort of I don't know, like you could even like frame it as like jealousy of Odin through the eyes of like his son, who would rather be the guy that Kaido contributed in the death of than be Kaido himself. And he has very human characteristics.
Yeah.
But I think all of it, when we do go into learning more about Kaido's character, will go back to the animalistic aspect of him, and I'm really interested in that.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want to be Kaido either. He's kind of lame, man. Kaido
Yeah,
lame as hell
yeah.
right now.
He is very human in those ways too,
Yeah.
because it's like he's very very human in that way, and I'm kind of curious if Oda does anything interesting with that. Like
And we'll
curious.
see. I wonder how many scabbards are gonna die, or if they die at all. Uh,
I'm guessing off top. I think if I'm gonna take bets for like one that will make it out and one that will die, I think Denjiro is gonna make it out. I think Kinemon's gonna die. That's where I'm at. That's my guesses.
what about the minks?
Oh man, I think that entirely comes down to, do we feel like they are still needed on Zoe, because they would have no leaders if both of them were to die. I don't feel like
Yeah.
Carrot would go back and be that leader. Like that character's not ready.
Yeah.
And also I feel like for the most part Carrot is destined to remain with the Straw Hat crew. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. I'd feel very bad because both Neko and Ino are two characters that I like uh, the most. Out of the Scabbards and stuff, they're like top five. So I'd be pretty sad about that. But I can't make a call as to whether I think the story will go in that direction.
I mean, that's so
Uh,
long for him about to run out, isn't it? I guess.
yeah, yeah, of course, of course, of
Uh,
course, yeah.
I guess my last question is, Momonosuke was like, run with a Shogun run, like so. What what do you think he's planning on doing? Like, because I think Shinobu fell on the ground. I mean, they were saved by Yamato, but like they're still in that area.
Mhm,
So,
mhm, mhm.
and they are about to fight the armored core,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The armored core of Smile Devil Fruit users, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I think my answer to that question for you is Momonosuke's journey up until this point hasn't been about his physical strength so far, because he obviously lacks that. It's been about like the strength of his character and how he stands up to Odin, the person that everybody's projecting onto him that he needs to be. And I think for Momo, I don't think he's gonna suddenly pull a ridiculous ability out of the bag, because I don't think that's really
yeah,
what his character's supposed to be. But I think honestly, let's look at what Luffy said to him on Zou. Um, Everybody, like all of his retainers, were kind of doing his job for him, and it felt like it came from like this belief that he'll one day be as great as Odin was. But at the same time, it's like it felt like they weren't handing him, or he wasn't taking the respect and leadership role that he was given. And I feel like Momo, he just needs to stand up for what he believes is correct, and the powerhouses that support him, like Yamato and Luffy and the retainers, will do the legwork in that regard. It's really just about Momo being like, no, I'm not a coward. No, I'm not going to run behind these strong people that are risking their lives to protect me and make me shogun just because of my birthright. I have to be a leader. I have to be someone
yeah,
that is willing to risk his own life instead of just letting other people risk their lives for me, you know? And I think it's just about defining his character and his personality and his actions, and it doesn't have anything to do with his power. I don't think he's going to be ridiculously strong at all.
yeah. I mean, I wasn't expecting him to like pull a power from nowhere, but I mean,
But people do. People do. I've heard this like ridiculous theory, which I mean, I guess it's fun to think about. But like people are like, oh yeah, but like what if like Momo got aged up and then like he gets the other sword that like Odin had, because he's supposed to inherit it anyway. Like there's already like people that can age up characters and blah blah. And I'm like, yeah, I mean that'd be cool in a sort of like weird future Gohan way. I don't know if that's a future Gohan, future Trunks type way.
yeah,
But no, I don't think that's an organic way to tell stories. While it would be hype for about 2-3 pages, I don't think it's sustainable considering what his story has been up until this point. Because I don't think they're just gonna just jump over that lesson that he needs to grow as a person and just give him a physical body that like fixes all of his problems.
yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit lame. But yeah, I hope Momo continues to grow, because um I understand that character, and I'm growing to like that character too.
All right.
Yep,
Yeah.
everybody, thank you for watching. Yeah, take care.
Peace out.